Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Just a quick message on something that I heard earlier in an interview with Kevin Gates. It was an interview he was doing with a lady who I'm not too familiar with, although I know she is very well known, so it's certainly me and not her. I believe it's Bobby something, and from what I've seen, she typically interviews a lot of different hip hop artists, but Kevin Gates came up on my feed. So I went ahead and checked out the interview while I was doing some work, and he had quite a few interesting tidbits to share in that interview. And from what I've seen of Kevin Gates in other interviews, he tends to do this pretty often. So it was a cool interview and certainly one worth listening to if you have the time. It was pretty much a 2 hour interview, so it's pretty long. But he did share at one point something that I thought was particularly interesting. He was talking about how he frequently meditates, and the interviewer said what many people say when they're asked about meditation or they're hearing about somebody's practice, which is meditation isn't for me. I don't think that's something that I can do. I could never control my thoughts. And I thought Kevin Gates' response to that was actually pretty brilliant. He just said, don't worry about meditating, just focus on your breath. And the reason I like this, as simple as the response was, is because a lot of times it needs to be laid out in that plain of terms because the word meditation is pretty layered. People will think about spiritual practices, they'll think about people who are considered extremely spiritual, they'll think about doing things that are impossible even by meditative terms, right? They'll think about actually being able to sit down and control their thoughts. So many things come to mind. And when you just lay it out as simple as focusing on your breathing, this reframes what meditation is to something that anybody has the capacity to do. If you ask anybody to focus on any specific thing for a certain amount of time, I believe they'll be able to do it, whether it's sitting down and focusing on just your breathing or focusing on one specific object or one specific word. It makes it much more tangible for that person. Even in the interview, the woman, Bobby, I could see her somewhat nodding in agreement, I believe, because it made it sound realistic. But of course, if you have been meditating for a while or you're just learning about meditation, you'll understand that just focusing on your breathing is the meditation practice. When our minds are drifting in a million different places, we're not controlling our thoughts. We're redirecting our attention in a way that will hopefully silence these additional thoughts, at least for a short period of time. So, if you're just sitting down and you're focusing on your breathing, you have awareness on your in breath and an awareness on your out breath, and then all of a sudden your mind jumps to, what was that noise in the other room? Or did I make sure that I completed all of the work that I have to do in order to be ready for tomorrow's day's work? Whatever it may be, as soon as our mind drifts, we bring that attention back to our breathing. And the more we practice bringing our attention back to our breathing, the longer the pockets will be where we realize our minds are very quiet. We're feeling very peaceful. We're noticing that the chatter has subdued, and all we are aware of is that in breath and that out breath. And that is what meditation is. It's honing and strengthening the ability to be present, the ability to focus on any given subject or any given person or any given activity for an extended amount of time without constantly having a thought pop up into our mind and feeling that we need to grab a hold of that thought and allow it to take us anywhere that it wants to take us. It's when we're speaking to a person And all of a sudden, we're thinking about something else or somebody else, and we grab onto that thought, and we've drifted so much that the person we're speaking to says, "Hey, are you aware that I'm talking to you? Are you okay? You look like you're somewhere else. It doesn't seem like you're here communicating with me right now." And that's what happens when we give these thoughts more power than necessary. We chase them down more rabbit holes and all of these different things, when all we need to do is bring our attention back to our breath, back to our person, or back to the activity, whichever it is that we're doing, whichever it is that we're wanting to bring our focus on. And essentially, you have not only your meditation practice, but the desired outcome of your meditation practice the majority of the time. Of course, as you delve deeper into it, you'll find that there's many areas that you could go. There's many different philosophies and ideologies that you could put into this practice to help you have a deeper appreciation for what we're doing. For example, they're always saying that the past doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is right now, in this very moment. This is the only thing that's real. Everything that happened yesterday doesn't exist anymore, but we continuously live in that area and we allow it to affect us so much in this current and future moment. The future that we're aspiring to, that we're hinging our happiness and our wellness on, and we're saying, I'll finally be happy when I get this promotion, or I'll finally be happy when I have this type of partner or this type of physique. These things don't exist yet, and they may never exist. We're saying that we're going to allow ourselves to be happy in 6 months when that promotion comes, and heaven forbid something happens to you in 3 months, and you based all of your happiness on this future event. So we have to appreciate the moment that we're in now. And the best way to take advantage of that is through that meditative practice. Not the meditative practice that you're doing in your room when you're sitting on a mat and you're isolated and nobody's around you and it's a very controlled environment. The key word in that is practice. That is just getting you ready for being in the outside world and giving that full world your proper attention. So I thought it was a great explanation by Kevin Gates, and something that's extremely tangible for anybody to at least be able to relate to without the loaded terminology that sometimes comes with this word meditation. So that's it for this one. Would like to know what you think about this. If this is something that you can relate to, share a comment below so I can hear your opinion. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe. It helps me promote this channel as somebody who is new to making these videos, so it would be highly appreciated, and I'll talk to you next time.